if we start winning games of football, then yes, Nigel Adkins is the answer long term. As I said at the start of the show, we're not going to attract a manager with a better pedigree than Nigel Adkins. The guy was managing in the Premier League. I don't know how long ago, but it must be 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. We're not going to get somebody who was managing at the top level that recently. So we're not going to attract a better manager. But my concern is if we continue to lose games under him, where do we go? Because who do we bring in who is a better option or a better qualified person than Nigel Adkins? So I hope he is the answer, but time will tell.
Time will tell. It's results. It's all based on results, isn't it? If we win on Saturday, suddenly there's a bit of a lift around the place. Like, he will build on the positivity. He will be that arm around the players' shoulders. He will encourage them. There's a lot of pluses. There's a lot of things to like about Nigel Adkins. How much does he want the job? Did he want to take a back seat? Did he not want the pressure of day-to-day training and being in the spotlight and taking the flack off the fans and the press? Maybe he wanted to take a step back from that. Only the club know what their intentions are. I think if I would say we're maybe there's less pressure in terms of getting an appointment done because we did have a ready-made former Premier League manager there. And we can maybe take the time and put the right man in. The caveat to that, of course, is that Mark took a lot of time last time and appointed it indoors. So again, I just don't have any faith in the chairman to put the right person in. Mark puts a lot of positive spin on what's going on at the club, on the way that we're playing on the pitch, some of which just doesn't stack up at all. But one thing he can't put positive spin on is his track record of appointing managers, because it's frankly abysmal.
Well, let's see where we go from here. But it's good to hear that you are both very confident that Tranmere are going to be moving up that league ladder very soon. They have to, actually, because otherwise the position they're in is going to become pretty perilous. And they start again this coming Saturday. Accrington are the visitors to Prenton Park after 2 successive away defeats for Tranmere to Crawley and Colchester. Nice to be back on home soil. It's an interesting game in that it's a team that traditionally have been below Tranmere in the footballing pyramid, but for the last decade, really, that hasn't really been the case. They are now back at Tranmere's level, though, after relegation last year. We were sprung a little bit of a surprise, weren't we, by the team selection, I would like to say, on Saturday by Nigel Adkins. How do you think he'll go this week? Does McAleer retain his place? Does Walker retain his place? I mean, it'd be great to see Walker get back-to-back games in and start building his match fitness. Does Dennis come back into the starting lineup? There are a few. I mean, it's a massive squad, so there are plenty of options. We haven't actually seen the likes of Rob Apter start a game yet either, have we? So what do you want to see done, Lewis?
I didn't see the game on Saturday at Crawley. I was working, so I can't comment too much on maybe the performance. I saw the highlights and obviously the goals we conceded, which we can all agree was, schoolboy level defending. But I like the approach. I like the fact that Nigel made a statement and he said, right, the guys that aren't pulling their weight, you're coming out the side. We're going with Sam Taylor, Charlie Jolly. First thing to say is, I mean, I've always been a Charlie Jolly fan, and the way he took his goal suggested to me that he's a player that we should be really backing, giving him minutes, giving him time. There's not many other players in the team, I think, have got the ability to, take or, have the mental, what's the word I'm looking for? There's just the calmness in that, in that scenario to take the ball around the keeper and slot it into the net. So he's a player I think we should be persistent with. Sam Taylor, we've obviously waxed lyrical about. We know he's going to be a good player as he develops. So I like the fact that Nigel made changes. I would suspect it will largely be the same on Saturday. I don't think he'll be taking a sledgehammer to the team for Saturday. I think defensively with the problems, and Brad Walker's obviously shorter minutes, but again, that pass for was it the Sam Taylor goal? I think it was, wasn't it, that he played that through ball? Is there anybody else in our squad that can play a pass like that? I haven't seen many of the others be able to play a pass of that quality in behind the opposition. So you look at players like that who have clearly got, and I put McAleer in this bracket. There's something a bit special there, but they just don't produce it anywhere near as often as they should. So Nigel's got to, I think, find that balance of getting those players into the team that can impact those phases of play without sort of fallen victim at the other end of the pitch. So I'd say defensively is where Adkins will be looking to maybe make a few changes, but I suspect we'll probably see Sam Taylor and Charlie Jolly, leading the line again.
Yeah, I think they should as well. I think the fact that each of them scored, why would you drop them at the moment? Absolutely, I think they should stick there. I agree. I don't think he's going to tear things up too much because he made so many radical changes before the Crawley game, some of which were vindicated. The defence is a concern. Would it potentially be an opportunity to bring Yarni in possibly for Turnbull? Because our centre halves have just been so poor together. I watched just before we came on. I forced myself to watch the Crawley goals again, and the second one, as the corner's coming in, is one of our players tying his bootlace or something like that as well. Like, it's completely unaware when the ball goes across the box. It's so poor. We genuinely thought that one of the strengths of the team would be the two centre halves, and that's clearly not been the case. So if I was looking at one change, maybe it's time to give Yarni his opportunity, because Turnbull is not the player that we expected him to be this season. I don't think Davis has been great either, but one of them, perhaps it's time to make a change, because otherwise, if nothing else, complacency sets in, because those two are thinking, well, it doesn't matter how bad I am, I'm not going to get dropped. So that might be one change that I'd consider, to be honest.